What is up, people, and welcome back to my Rags to Riches F1 2010 to 2014 career mode. This is the career mode where we go from one of the worst teams in F1 2010, work our way up through the ranks and through the teams, and try and get a drive for one of the best teams in F1 2014. We're currently in that 2014 season, so it is all about whether we can win the Drivers' Championship or not. We're here at the Italian Grand Prix for round 13. So if you have missed any of the previous episodes, go catch up with the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screen. You'll find the previous episode at the Belgian Grand Prix and also the whole entire playlist if you have missed any of the other episodes. Looking at the standings coming into today's 13th round, we're third in the standings. Caught up a little bit to Lewis Hamilton last time around. We aren't too far away from Nico Rosberg either. So I reckon we will be within a championship battle come the end of the season. Looking at the emails coming into today's race as well. This, of course, is going to be Ferrari's home Grand Prix. So it is important that we get a good race result here. Today's going to be nice and dry across the whole weekend. Contract was withdrawn from Red Bull Racing. So we don't really have to worry about that. We are currently winning the teammate battle, but losing out on out-qualified. So hopefully, maybe fingers crossed, we can get that out-qualified against Fernando Alonso by the end of the season. Race results data, go check that out if you want to. And, oh, where have we gone? We've gone completely off. We need to look at emails. Please, it's put me right to, why does it always do that? It always puts you right to the bottom. So annoying, F1 2014. 5th win this season, and we've broken the, well, we don't really need to talk about that because we're definitely not a rookie in this season because, yeah, we're not a rookie. We're definitely not a rookie, so let's just forget about that. And without any further ado, let's head over to the race weekend for the Italian Grand Prix. Oh, no, before we go over to the race weekend, let's select a rival. Of course, it's always going to be the best one available. And the two rivals that we've really got in this actual season are the two that are leading the championship. Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. It's always going to be the #1 driver, so Lewis Hamilton is our rival for the rest of the season. And let's see if we can beat him in Italy. It is one-shot qualifying time at the Italian Grand Prix. I was going to say Singapore Grand Prix, getting way ahead of myself. That's next time. But here we are at the Italian Grand Prix, which apart from Monaco, is probably the most important qualifying session this season. Not because it's hard to overtake here, but mainly because this is Ferrari's home place. We need to get a good result at this qualifying session and at this race weekend entirely. So down towards turn 1, a little bit slow in towards turn 1. I now know that I can brake later in towards this corner, but we'll still wait and see. Maybe the lap time will be good enough and we can get into the top half of the field. Oh, don't hold me up, Sutil. Oh, great. You have a nice one. You had to get on the bloody racing line, didn't you? Cheers for that, mate. Cheers for holding me up. Brilliant. Okay, so we're currently 1.4 seconds down on Lewis Hamilton's pole time, mainly because of Adrian Sutil parking it right on the apex down towards the second chicane. We'll see whether we can make some of that time up through the final couple of corners. So hopefully we've made a bit of time up through Ascari, in towards the Parabolica, down towards the line though. Was the lap time going to be good enough for? It's not going to be good enough for pole position, but it might still be good enough for the top 10. Ah, no, it's not. P12. Adrian Sutil, you dick. Why did you have to get in my way, buddy? Why? You could have just maybe cut across the chicane if you're not even completing a lap, mate. Why did you have to do me like that? Why did you have to do me dirty like that, mate? Come on. Lewis Hamilton, though, he gets pole position ahead of his teammate Nico Rosberg. 1/10 of a second once again, separating those two drivers. Always just so close between those two. Alonso's in 3rd, then Daniel Ricciardo's 4th, Sebastian Vettel 5th, Nico Hülkenberg's in 6th with Felipe Massa 7th, then Valtteri Bottas 8th, Jenson Button 9th, Sergio Perez 10th, and Kevin Magnussen just missing out on the top 10 with myself in P12. So it's going to be difficult from 12th position to get a good result tomorrow, especially if we want to try and beat the two Mercedes drivers as well. But it just means that we're going to be having some fun in the race, you know, making overtakes, especially down these fast straights, and anything can happen at Italy, and it usually does. Italy is probably one of the tracks in the Rags to Riches that's always thrown up some weird results and some exciting races, so fingers crossed that can happen here once again. But let's see what we can do from 12th on the grid. It's race day here at the Italian Grand Prix as we start way down the field in 12th position at Ferrari's home Grand Prix. Not really because we didn't have the pace here today, mainly because Adrian Sutil got in our way through the chicane. That definitely lost us a lot of time through there. But race strategy for today, starting on the option tyres, pitting for the primes on lap 6 of this 13-lap race. Teammate challenge. Unfortunately, Alonso has out-qualified, which now means that we have to out-qualify him at every single race over the course of the season in order to beat him on that version of the teammate challenge. If we can do that, then we will get 5 out of 5 on Alonso. 0% chance of rain here today, though, so let's head down to the track and get today's race underway. There is Lewis Hamilton once again in pole position for today's race, with Nico Rosberg in second. Fernando Alonso is in third, and myself way down the field in 12th position. But it just means, like I said, we're going to have some fun, work our way through the field, and hopefully still try and get a good result. It's very, very quick, and there are a lot of straights here to make overtakes. So fingers crossed we can do just that. As we go to 5 red lights, and it is lights out. And away we go for the Italian Grand Prix. Straight away, putting it up into rich mix as we go down in towards turn 1. I see a nice little gap opening for us down in towards... Okay, no, it's no longer opening for us. We're just going to have to take it nice and cautiously down in towards turn 1. We don't want to break our front wing or anything. Up the inside of Valtteri Bottas. Oh, we're going 4 wide in towards turn 1. This is not a good idea. Bottas, get out of my way. Okay, we just about managed to scrape it through down in towards the first couple of corners. Still in P9 at the moment. So we have made a couple of positions down in towards turn 1 and 2. Now we'll see whether we can go up the inside of Valtteri Bottas down in towards the chicane. Down up the inside of him and maybe even Sergio Perez as well. Yes, we have. We got the job done on Perez. And there we go, moving up into P7. Right behind now the Red Bull driver of Sebastian Vettel. Not too sure whereabouts Nico Rosberg is in this race. Alonso is in second and Lewis Hamilton is in first. So let's see what we can do. Not really making any progress on Sebastian Vettel at the moment. We're just going to have to rely on what we're usually good at, which is trying to make up a lot of time down in towards the braking zones. Braking later than everybody else in this race. Hopefully, look at that. Gaining so much on Sebastian Vettel through there. Moving right up to the back of the Red Bull drive, which is so much better than the AI under braking, especially in heavy braking zones. We can just go so much later, which is really going to help us to maybe go for the overtake on Sebastian Vettel down in towards this second chicane. Here we are on the right-hand side. Job done before we've even got there. And there we go, moving up into P6 for the time being. Put ourselves right behind the other Red Bull now of Daniel Ricciardo. Here we go then, down in towards the start-finish straight and very close to the back of Daniel Ricciardo at this stage of the race. Fernando Alonso also gaining loads on Lewis Hamilton at the moment. DRS not quite activated yet. It is activated on this lap, but we can't use it just yet. Alonso on the right-hand side. We're maybe going to have a look up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. Oh, he's got into the back of Valtteri Bottas. Oh, that was evading manoeuvre right there, down in towards turn 1. Around the outside of Felipe Massa. Can we get the job done? No, he can't. And having to settle back, but that was close. That was seriously close. Massa going for the overtake on Nico Rosberg. And, yeah, just sort of backed out of it. Went into the path of Ricciardo. Ricciardo moved over to the right-hand side. We were already committed to going for the overtake on Ricciardo. So we go now for the overtake on Felipe Massa up the inside. And, yeah, just nearly didn't work out. It was nearly our race over. But we just managed to be very alert there to what Daniel Ricciardo was doing up ahead of us. We got past him. And that was also a nice move on Felipe Massa down towards the second chicane. Now hunting down Nico Rosberg and my teammate Fernando Alonso. Oh, Alonso has overtaken Lewis Hamilton for the lead of this Italian Grand Prix. That's absolutely fantastic news. But we have seen it before where the Ferraris are very quick at the start of the race, but then lose out towards the end. So we do have to be aware of that. We need to close up to the back of the Mercedes as soon as we possibly can in order to give ourselves the best opportunity of getting past them and staying ahead of them by the end of the race. Oh, we're now close enough for DRS on Nico Rosberg. I don't think we're going to be able to go for a move down towards the Scurry, but we should get him down the start-finish straight. Here we go then, through the Parabolica, down in towards turn 1. This is going to be our opportunity to try and get past Nico Rosberg. Lewis Hamilton may have a chance as well to try and get past Fernando Alonso, but following in the slipstream, using the DRS, pulling over to the right-hand side. Can we get the job done on Nico Rosberg up the inside, down towards turn 1 on the brakes? And it looks like, yes, we can. There we go. Job done on Nico Rosberg. Moving up into the podium positions. And now hunting down Lewis Hamilton. We have set the fast lap of the race. The fuel is starting to come away from us. We are on optimal fuel. We've been running optimal for 1 or 2 laps. So we will be going to -1 very, very soon. But we just need to try and catch up to Lewis Hamilton. It's pit stop time here at this Italian Grand Prix. Into the pits we come, right behind Lewis Hamilton. Oh my God. Closing up so much to Lewis Hamilton there as we came in towards the pits. He's going to get served first. Maybe, though, if we can have a good stop from the Ferrari team, we can beat the Mercedes. It was a slow stop from the Mercedes, but unfortunately, it was just not quick enough from the Ferrari crew to get ahead of the Mercedes team. But we are right on their tail, keeping it. Should have really put it down to lean mix while we're coming through the pit lane, but putting it back up into rich mix now. Maybe we can get past Lewis Hamilton on this outlap. If we can do just that, we could have a great opportunity of getting the lead of the race. I've overshot it down towards turn 1. I've made contact with Lewis Hamilton. Gonna have to keep him in that position. Just too eager. Too eager at the moment. I could have waited one more lap, got him down the start-finish straight, but instead I tried it around the outside. To be fair, I wasn't expecting Lewis Hamilton to brake so early down in towards turn 1, so that sort of allowed me to go around the outside. But now having a little look up the inside, down in towards the second chicane, side by side with Lewis Hamilton, giving the room on the second part, and there we go, job done. A great move there on the Mercedes driver, moving up into what hopefully will be the lead of today's race. We've just got to see where Alonso's going to come out. Unfortunately, the battling between the two of us has probably cost us quite a bit of time. But we're still running in optimal fuel, and hopefully we don't go down to -1. Hopefully as well we do get out ahead of Fernando Alonso. Okay then, the other drivers are into the pits right now for this Italian Grand Prix. So whereabouts is Fernando Alonso and Nico Rosberg going to come out? They're probably going to come out ahead of us, and yes they are. Look at them all the way down in towards turn 1. We are -1 lap of fuel, but I want to try and get past both these guys and get the lead of the race away from them. I know that I'm quicker. I know that I'm quicker than my teammate. I know that I'm quicker than Nico Rosberg. Nico Rosberg is right on the tail of my teammate right now. He is going to get DRS. He is going to get slipstream all the way down in towards turn 1. Hopefully, those two go side by side through turns 1 and turns 2. If that can happen, then I may have a chance of coming back at them. They're side by side at the moment. We're going to brake late down towards the corner. Rosberg having to back off massively. And just like I predicted, there we go, catching up quite a bit to Nico Rosberg, because that's still having to run it in standard mix. So unfortunately, we're not quick enough at the moment to keep up with these guys. But we may get some luck still in this race. As long as I beat both Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton in the race, then I will be gaining points on them. Okay, then putting it up into Rich Mix to try and get the job done on Nico Rosberg down in towards the start-finish straight, in towards the Parabolica now, on the power, on the back of Nico Rosberg, running it a little bit wide there, using all the track available to us. We are going to get DRS on the Mercedes driver, but will it be enough? He's probably going to get DRS on Fernando Alonso, which he does, down in towards turn 1, and I don't think we're going to be quick enough to get the job done on Nico Rosberg this lap around, but we're waiting to see. Maybe a big old dive bomb up the inside, which we've done, and there we go, maneuver on Nico Rosberg. What a dive bomb move. What's going on over there? What on earth is happening there? Who is that? If that is Pastor Maldonado, then, I mean, this season just writes itself. Get rid of it that way. Right, okay, who is that? I'm pretty sure that's a Lotus. Is that a Lotus? Like, what are they doing? They come back onto the track, and then they drive back off the track. It's a Lotus. I'm not too sure which one it is. Please, guys, tell me which Lotus that is, because if that is Maldonado, then that is just an absolute classic right there. Like, what is he doing? He might be out of the race. He's not out of the race. He's still going. He's just driving around in circles right now. Do not know what on earth Maldonado is doing. Do we get to see it back any further? No, he's just sort of off the track. Okay, but anyway, back on board with our race. We just got past Nico Rosberg. Fantastic dive bomb move there on the Mercedes driver. Now we're seeing whether we can get past Fernando Alonso or not. We won't be able to go for it down in towards this corner, mainly because I'm just not going to go for it. I'm not going to dive bomb up the inside of my teammate. I want a 1-2 at the end of the day, and I want Ferrari to beat Mercedes, mainly for myself, not for any Constructors' Championship or anything like that. I just want to make sure that I can get as many points as I possibly can on Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. Okay, then this is going to be for the race lead down the start-finish line. I am still in -1 lap of fuel. We do have to take it carefully down in towards turn 1. Of course, we don't want to punt off Fernando Alonso, but we do want to take away the victory from him. So here we go, down in towards turn 1, using the slipstream at the moment. Now we get DRS down in towards turn 1. Should be a fairly simple move over on the right-hand side, braking later than my teammate. And there we go, he's still there! There we go, job done on Alonso, but he's still there. What is he doing? He's just doing donuts. Who is that? Who is that? We should be able to see him next time we come around, but oh my god, what on earth are they doing? Final lap here then at the Italian Grand Prix. And at the moment, we are still on -1 lap of fuel, but hopefully it should go back to optimal by the end of the race. Now, let's see. Is this driver still down at turn 1 doing donuts? I'm not too sure at the moment. Is he still here? I think he's gone, unfortunately. I think whoever it is, whether it's Maldonado or Roman Grosjean, yeah, they've gone, unfortunately. They might have had a crash with Lewis Hamilton, because Hamilton's dropped way off the pace at the moment, and there's only 20 runners still in this race, so they may have crashed out. But we are back to optimal fuel at the moment, which is really good. Just going to keep it in lean mix for a little bit longer, just to make sure we stay in optimal fuel. Put it back up into standard when we go down the long straight to Ascari, and hopefully we can hold off Fernando Alonso. Right, here we go, holding off Fernando Alonso down in towards Ascari. If he's going to go for the move, we're going to take the inside line through this corner to try and hold off Fernando Alonso, which I think we have done successfully there. But we've still got one more straight, the Parabolica, and then, of course, the run down in towards the start-finish line. So, Fernando Alonso, this is going to be a good opportunity for my teammate to go for the overtake. I'm not going to give him the inside because I know that he will back off if he does that. He's not even going to go for the move down in towards the corner. We've run it a little bit wide into the Parabolica, though. Power down all the way to the line, and I think it's going to be a race win. But not only a race win, it's a 1-2 for the Ferrari team here at their home Grand Prix at the Italian Grand Prix. What a fantastic result. Doing it for the Tifosi. Forza Ferrari, baby. A win here today, and that is absolutely fantastic. Look at that, the two Ferrari drivers side by side celebrating together. And there we go, another race win, our 6th race win of the season, and that's really going to help us to close in the gap on Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. That is 10 points gained on Nico Rosberg and 13 points gained on Lewis Hamilton, which means this championship is definitely up for grabs. There is still a really good chance that we can win the championship this season. Of course, Italy is a good race for us to try and win at. You know, Italy is quite an easy circuit at the end of the day, but we did do a fantastic job from 12th on the grid. Fernando Alonso finishes in 2nd with Rosberg 3rd and Lewis Hamilton in 4th. Then it's Daniel Ricciardo in 5th place with Sebastian Vettel 6th. Nico Hülkenberg finishes in 7th with Felipe Massa in 8th. Valtteri Bottas 9th. And Sergio Perez gets the final championship point here. So if Esteban Gutierrez just missing out the points once again. Pastor Maldonado, it wasn't him. It was in fact Roman Grosjean, as Maldonado finished in 14th. Roman Grosjean did DNF in the end. 21st position. What on earth was he doing? What was he doing at the end of the day? He's doing donuts down in towards turn 1. He'd given up on the Italian Grand Prix and just thought, you know what? I'm going to do some donuts down at turn 1 and turn 2. You know, celebrate, give something back to the fans for today's race. And Jenson Button, the other guy, to not finish. Drivers' Championship then, after 13 rounds of this season, 24 points is the gap. Look at that, 24 points, the gap to Lewis Hamilton. 10 points now is the gap between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg as well. So the three of us are battling it out for the championship. We've still got a long way left to go. We've got Singapore, Japan, Russia. Where else we got? USA, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi. So that is 6 races, I believe. 6 races left to go in this season. That's plenty of opportunities to take the championship away from those two drivers. But I've just noticed something as well. Look at the championship standing. It's Mercedes, Mercedes, Ferrari, Ferrari, Red Bull, Red Bull, Williams, Williams, Force India, Force India, McLaren, McLaren, Toro Rosso, Toro Rosso. And then at the back of it, it's a little bit jumbled up between the back markers. But just look at that. That's so weird how all the teams sort of go in 2 by 2 at the moment in the championship. Constructors' Championship, though, 466 points for the Mercedes team, 336 for myself and Fernando Alonso. 110 points is the gap right now. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be able to close up on Mercedes. We did a good job here today getting a 1-2 for the team, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be good enough to close in on those guys. Red Bull Racing are at the moment in 3rd place. I don't think they're going to be able to catch up to us either. And Williams are out of contention too. But that's it for today's Italian Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash your like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for daily Formula 1 content. And of course, F1 2017 content too when the game is out. And I'll see you next time at the Singapore Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.